Hey, that's clickbait, huh? Alright. I guess anything else? I get sued all the time. Y'all stop it.
New drama tonight involving a controversial politician in the south suburbs. Tiffany Henyard was the only Thornton Township leader to show up for a scheduled...
You won't believe what just went down at the latest Dalton Village Board meeting. It was so wild and chaotic that it's sure to leave you speechless. We've all seen political drama, but what happened with Mayor Tiffany Henyard takes things to a whole new level. Picture this. Right in the middle of a meeting, the mayor gets arrested after causing total mayhem and needing to be forcibly removed. Yes, you heard that right. The live broadcast of the meeting was abruptly cut off as things escalated out of control. It was like something straight out of a TV show. But this was real life happening in Dalton, Illinois.
I don't believe that is legally correct. That's just not the way municipalities operate.
Let's dive into the details because this story is packed with drama you won't want to miss. Mayor Tiffany Henyard, no stranger to controversy, had been butting heads with the village trustees for months. If you've been keeping up with the news, you already know her relationship with the board has been anything but smooth. There's been constant friction over decisions, appointments, and just about everything else. But at this latest board meeting, the tension finally reached a boiling point, and things escalated in a way no one saw coming, taking the drama to a whole new level.
Questionable spending by a South suburban politician named Tiffany Henyard, but we only knew half the...
Eyewitnesses at the meeting described the atmosphere as electric, with tensions so thick they were almost tangible. From the very start, it was clear that something dramatic was about to unfold. The trustees had gathered at the local Park District building, a decision prompted by the growing crowds that had turned Dalton's government meetings into a must-see event. Village Hall, unable to legally accommodate the surge of people eager to witness the escalating drama, had become insufficient for the civic unrest now defining Dalton's political landscape. Residents packed the venue, some genuinely concerned about the town's governance, others simply drawn to the spectacle of controversy that seemed to follow Mayor Tiffany Henyard at every turn. But on this particular day, Henyard wasn't about to conform to expectations or follow the usual decorum of such meetings. She threw the rulebook out the window, asserting herself with her signature defiance and dramatic flair, setting the stage for yet another chapter in Dalton's ongoing political saga. As tensions rose between Henyard and the trustees, it was clear the mayor was once again playing to the crowd. Her leadership style more like a reality TV star than a public servant. As the chaos unfolded, residents were left wondering, was the mayor's behavior a calculated power move or simply another example of her refusal to follow the norms of governance? The spectacle only emphasized the larger issues plaguing Dalton, a town now more well known for its political theater than its ability to solve the challenges it faces. Henyard's captivating approach left many questioning how sustainable her leadership really is amid these growing problems.
But those invoices lead to more questions, and sometimes we don't get answers to those questions. And so it's not about clickbait, it's about just making sure that...
Instead of joining the trustees at the Park District building for the scheduled meeting, Mayor Tiffany Henyard made a bold and controversial move. She held her own meeting back at Village Hall. It was a defiant gesture, almost as if she wanted to remind everyone that she was in charge and would run things her way, no matter what anyone else thought. However, her plan didn't unfold as she had envisioned, and what happened next was enough to make everyone run for cover. Only 2 trustees showed up to her impromptu gathering, far short of the number needed to legally hold a meeting. With no quorum, Henyard had no choice but to cancel her self-declared session, an embarrassing setback for someone trying to assert dominance. But Henyard wasn't ready to back down. Determined to make her presence felt, she jumped into her car and drove straight to the Park District building, where the trustees were continuing the official meeting, proceeding smoothly without her. What happened next was nothing short of dramatic. Henyard stormed into the meeting, disrupting the proceedings and drawing all attention to herself. What had been a tense but functional gathering quickly spiraled into chaos as her unexpected entrance stole the spotlight. Her arrival caused a stir among the trustees and attendees, adding yet another chapter to Dalton's ongoing political theater. The room, already thick with tension, erupted into confusion as Henyard took center stage, refusing to follow anyone else's rules. Ian Sayavdi Karnahai. This moment further emphasized Henyard's divisive leadership approach, characterized by disruption and defiance, which led many in the room, as well as the broader community, to wonder if Dalton's political turmoil would ever cease. Once the chaos subsided, the situation highlighted the deepening rift between Henyard and the trustees, with the town's residents caught in the middle of an escalating power struggle.
Temporary restraining order blocking her from making those appointments without approval from.
When Tiffany Henyard entered the room, the atmosphere instantly became charged with tension, as the crowd seemed to vibrate with an undeniable energy. Already frustrated by her controversial behavior and leadership, the residents made their disapproval clear at her unexpected appearance at the trustees' meeting. She was neither invited nor welcomed, intruding on what had been, up until then, a tense but orderly gathering. Some attendees, unable to hide their frustration, turned their backs on her as she entered. This silent gesture of discontent spoke volumes without a word being spoken. Unfazed and determined to make a statement, Henyard confidently approached the microphone, defiantly asserting, "I am the mayor of the village of Dalton," seemingly to reaffirm her authority in a room that was anything but receptive. However, before she could continue, the crowd's overwhelming boos and shouts drowned out her words, a wave of anger and fatigue from the community who felt increasingly disillusioned and burdened by her controversial leadership. The outburst was immediate and relentless, reflecting the residents' deep frustration with the ongoing political drama that had consumed their lives. Her attempt to take control of the meeting only served to escalate the already tense situation. Attendees openly questioned her motives and presence, signaling their growing frustration. What had begun as a routine trustees meeting quickly descended into chaos, with Henyard at the center of it all. A divisive figure whose actions appeared to deepen the rift between her and the very people she claimed to serve. The atmosphere, charged with emotion, became a battleground of words and gestures, reflecting the intensifying dissatisfaction of a community craving accountability and competent leadership. Henyard's dramatic entrance and the crowd's hostile reaction highlighted the deep erosion of trust under her leadership. Many were left wondering if any form of reconciliation or resolution was possible, as Dalton struggled with the widening divisions tearing at its fabric. Witnesses described the scene as utter chaos as Mayor Tiffany Henyard tried to take charge of the already tense trustees meeting, only to be drowned out by a chorus of boos and widespread public disapproval. Determined to assert her authority, Henyard attempted to speak over the uproar, demanding respect and declaring the meeting illegal. She boldly stated her intention to make critical appointments, including naming a new police chief, but her words were lost in the overwhelming noise of a crowd unwilling to let her speak. Constituents, already frustrated by her authoritarian style, made it clear they were not interested in anything she had to say. The tension in the room was thick as Henyard struggled to maintain control, but the noise and hostility proved too much. She lasted only 7 minutes before being forced to leave, effectively booed out by the very people she claimed to serve. What followed was complete pandemonium. Henyard stormed out of the building, visibly furious at the crowd's rejection. The situation quickly escalated, with reports suggesting Henyard, incensed by the public humiliation, allegedly became physically confrontational with one of the officials present. This confrontation only heightened the already tense atmosphere, drawing shocked reactions from witnesses and raising tensions to a fever pitch. Police, positioned nearby in anticipation of trouble, quickly intervened to restore some semblance of order. But what happened next stunned everyone. Mayor Tiffany Henyard, self-proclaimed super mayor of Dalton, Illinois, was arrested. The arrest marked a stunning turn of events, bringing an abrupt end to a meeting that had begun with high stakes and culminated in dramatic consequences. Residents watched in disbelief as Henyard, once seen as a leader with a bold vision, was led away in handcuffs. Her efforts to regain control of the situation were undone by the overwhelming public dissent and her own actions. The aftermath left the community shaken, serving as a powerful reminder of the growing divisions and heightened tensions that have come to define Henyard's controversial leadership.
The government always does it, is to go and investigate people around her. That's what they're.
The live broadcast of the meeting was abruptly cut off as Mayor Henyard was taken into custody, leaving viewers stunned. The sight of a sitting mayor being escorted out of her own meeting in handcuffs seemed almost cinematic, yet it was all too real. But what led to this dramatic turn of events? To fully grasp the situation, we need to understand the larger context. This moment didn't happen in isolation. It was the result of months, even years, of escalating tension, conflict, and outright defiance from Henyard. Tiffany Henyard has been a polarizing figure in Dalton for some time. Since assuming office, her tenure has been marked by a series of controversies. Whether clashing with the trustees, disregarding legal orders, or making appointments without the board's approval, Henyard made it clear that she was going to run things her own way, regardless of the consequences. A prime example of this was when she appointed a new village manager, village attorney, and police chief without consulting or gaining approval from the board. These were significant decisions that, by the rules of local governance, should have been made with the trustees' approval. But Henyard ignored that process, prompting the trustees to take legal action. A judge issued a restraining order telling Henyard that she could not make these appointments without board consent. Yet, despite this legal order, Henyard refused to comply. Her continued defiance set the stage for the explosive events that culminated in her dramatic arrest. The situation surrounding Tiffany Henyard is far more complex than it appears on the surface. While she has managed to retain a portion of her supporters, the tide is clearly turning against her. Residents are growing increasingly frustrated, trustees are fed up with her power grabs, and even the courts have intervened to curb her actions. Henyard is now battling on multiple fronts, and it's becoming increasingly difficult to see how she will navigate through this. I suppose she will be saying it's only clickbait and fake news when she's in court again. Henyard has consistently tried to dismiss these allegations as mere attacks from her political enemies, but with the mounting evidence, it's becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss. Another fan added, "She has been a criminal her whole life. After all, she was arrested for breaking into cars in 2016. She probably already has a long rap sheet." While we can't verify that claim, it's clear Henyard's reputation is far from spotless. She's faced trouble before, and now she finds herself embroiled in yet another scandal. So, what do you think? Is this the end for Tiffany Henyard, or will she somehow manage to bounce back yet again? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for the latest updates on this unfolding drama, because trust us, this story is far from over.